Another day in the fish room. Got a couple things to do today. I want to definitely move these super red bristlenose plecos into their permanent tank. These are the ones I got from Wild Fish Tanks. So they're going to grow out and hopefully eventually breed in the 40 gallon that we're going to move them to. But what's most exciting about today for me is that we're finally going to do something with this 40 gallon breeder. For those of you who have been following for a while, you know that I escaped this tank and I was waiting for certain fish from Select Aquatics. That's the Iliodon furcidens, or the trout goodiad. I inquired with Greg, let him know I've been waiting a year and just asking when they'd be available on his website again. And he was nice enough to offer to ship me 2 pairs, so I'm super excited. You know, they're not available yet, but he appreciated that I was waiting a long time for them. So definitely excited. They're gonna go in this tank. So I got to take out, you know, the beta fish, and I want to finish scaping it. I got to add a plant on the right side here. I've had time to, you know, let this tank grow out. It's definitely cycled at this point. The only other fish we have in here are these are supposed to be red coral pencilfish, but I don't know if I have all females or what, but they're not very red at all. I have the breeding pair of longfin super red bristlenose that breed in here, and I'm making sure that I'm on top of pulling the eggs out when they're laid, so we don't have a bunch of fry swimming around like we do in the 24 karat gold guppy tank with the lemon blue eye plecos. And also we have a group of, I believe, 8 green laser corridors that love hiding back there. Let's get started on this. A couple things about this tank, if this is the first time you're seeing it. The substrate's eco-complete. We've got a Ligwigia species here, and this is all these are dwarf chainsword. And I got some manzanita driftwood that I got from Manzanita Direct. So what I need to do is obviously scrape the glass. I want to take out all these snail shells. I didn't want snails in here, but when I transfer plants, I always end up getting snails, but I put some assassin snails in here, so we're seeing all the shells, so they're doing their work. A couple I can manually remove. We have duckweed in this tank, unfortunately, and I wasn't figuring out where it was coming from, but you know, after I left it for a while, I realized that somehow the duckweed is being, I guess by the air from the sponge filter, it's being thrown up on the lid and in the crevice of the lid. So that's a ton of duckweed right there. That is probably, you know, I'll remove all the duckweed on the surface and then it drops from the lid and just starts all over. So I'm gonna take this lid, completely clean it. You know, we got a bunch of algae here anyway. Take it outside, hose it out, make sure that I get, you know, you can see the duckweed here. It's probably all in these crevices here, so we'll take that out. I'm also going to add some more dwarf chainsword to this tank. You can see that it's mostly converted to submerged grown, except for this plant here. I didn't cut this is how I bought it. This is when it's grown out of water, and the new runners there are the submerged grown. I'm going to be adding it from this tank right here, this 10 gallon. I bought a bunch of dwarf chainsword at the same time and put it in the 40 gallon and this tank, and clearly it's done a lot better in this tank. There's more light, it's closer to the light versus the 40 gallon. We have a ton of runners here. All this is submerged, grown. You can see just the original plants there and back there. So it really spread out. So I'm gonna take these runners and hopefully, you know, they'll do well in here, and I'll be fertilizing more. So it'll probably do a lot better. So this is the final product. I added a bunch more of the dwarf chainsword, which I think looks pretty cool, and I really am looking forward to when it starts branching out even more and maybe fully carpets at some point. I added some pearlweed on the right side there to hopefully grow in and cover that sponge filter. And I put a bunch more eco-complete in here to kind of give it almost like a slope effect. And we can see the bristlenose are out and the green lasers are finally out because I put some rapashi out in the middle there. So I'm expecting the new fish from Select Aquatics within the next few days. They'll go right in here, and we'll kind of have to re-quarantine everybody together. But keep an eye out for that video. This is the tank where the super red bristlenose are going to go, with the Gary Lang strain rainbows and the rosy barb and the archer fish. You can see it's covered in diatom algae. I just let it get like this because these plecos will probably clean it up in a day, and that'll be a good food source for them when they transfer in here. You can see I still didn't catch that one green laser cory that I missed when I redid this tank, but maybe I can catch him today while he's out. He seems hungry. I think it's safe to say that the plecos like their new tank with all the algae that I left for them. You can see they're just going to town on it. You can see their mouth patterns over here. The front of the glass is much cleaner, and on this side too, again with the patterns, the way that they're moving. So that was another day in the fish room. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.